Hello guys, and welcome back to today's video. I'll be making a part 2 to the already previous tutorial I've made on how to make a canine cat mask. If you haven't already seen that, please go watch it because it covers some of the main focus points in how to build the structure of the mask, along with a lot of very important details that you should not miss. Today's video is going to cover mostly the painting, furring, lining, and how to make cat mask eyes. I'll have a link to the previous video in my description so you can go follow up along with it. I would also like to apologize for the audio, my voiceover getting cut out in the original tutorial. I do not know what happened between the uploading process that caused it to do that. So if anyone needs help, you can contact me through my community page or in any of my comment sections, preferably this one or the other tutorial. Now without further ado, please like and subscribe, and now we can get started.
For this tutorial, you are going to want to get a bunch of paintbrushes in varying sizes. For painting, you're probably going to have to end up mixing your own colors because finding natural animal colors in stores is really difficult. When painting, I like to start in the center area, that way I can get a visual of how the mask is going to look when I start painting outward. This is a very important detail that you do not want to miss. You're going to water your paint down, that way it'll apply to the felt with much better opacity. It will also keep the felt's texture still soft. I am currently making a gray wolf mask, however, you can use these tutorials for any canine because I am very broad with the description of what you should be looking for. Now, depending on what kind of canine you are making, the details will vary. If the canine you are making has a lot of details in the same colors, however the details are sporadic, you can apply them without starting in the center necessarily, like what I am doing in the video. The kind of paint I am using is just regular acrylic paint, however I'm watering it down. Just like I said in the last tutorial, you're going to want to grab references. Get references of different angles because the object we're making is 3D. I also recommend looking at different pictures of the type of canine you're making so that you can get an idea of how you're going to pattern it. Use different pictures of the animal you are making, specifically canines here, and the reasoning is because not all animals are the same, even if they're the same species or breed. While all gray wolves have a similar color and patterning style on their fur, you can still notice there are slight differences, even if they're from the same pack. Take my information as you will. These are small little reusable containers I use to house the paint that I have left over. You can find these online or at any craft store. I got mine at Joann Fabrics. Here's a basic tip that you can keep in mind when painting really anything. Dark colors can and will overpower light colors, so be careful where you put them, especially when you're painting with watered down acrylic. The darker color, since it's liquefied, will seep around the felt. I've noticed this while drying, so be precautious when placing darker colors.
Airbud.
make sure around the edges of your mask you are also applying paint. That way your mask has a full color look. The same base rules apply for when painting the snout. You want to cover underneath in that nice edge area so you have a nice colored look. Also, I know this isn't part of the tutorial, but like, look at my cat. Hi, Moo. I love you. Come here. Come here. No. No. No, that's paint. That's paint. Continuing with the painting, use a smaller brush for smaller details. Also, one thing I like to point out is animals in the wild do not have a pure shade of white. I always like to keep this in mind whenever painting white on any animal because it's actually going to turn out a very, very light blonde, beige, or even a tinty yellow. You should also use the water to your advantage when it comes to blending. Fur is a smooth, soft substance, so by using the water, you can make the details and designs look nice and clean. Like what I'm showing you here. Here's an example of me blending. Painting your mask is going to take several days, so by the time you have some of it done, it will be a little dry. You can also feel what it's supposed to feel like. It feels like a mixture between a hard and soft substance where you can tell it's felt, but it just feels a little stiff. Now I will quit yapping and let you lovelies do your work while painting. I mentioned earlier how darker colors will seep through lighter colors since we are using a watered down acrylic. Here's an example. Don't worry though, the easiest way to fix it is just by taking the same light color, dipping it in water, and painting over the dark splotches. I also want to point out how I painted the underneath of the snout black. This just covers up any hot glue, foam, excess felt that's underneath there. It also makes the mask look more complete. Also, remember to change your water out a few times because it will get pretty murky. For the eyes, cut out a fitting shape with eye mesh. I am using 5mm. Just like for the mask, you're going to use basic acrylic paint, however the way you're going to paint it is a little different. For painting the eyes, you're going to want a thin flat brush. You're going to now take your brush and dip it in paint, however you don't want a lot on your brush. You actually want a very, very thin amount. Since the small holes in between the mesh are small, they can get clogged up easily. So gently apply a thin layer of paint until the eyes appear opaque. It will start off looking like this, but as you add more and more layers, they will become more good looking. Now it is time for the small little nose. Remember that air dry foam clay? We're going to use it to make the nose. Now, if you want to add any small markings or details, use a very tiny brush and just regular acrylic. Now you can match your nose with the actual snout, see if you like it. Make sure it fits nice and cuddly on the actual snout. Go ahead and paint that little sniffer. Isn't it adorable? This is optional, but I like adding to my masks teeth. You can make them out of the same clay material. They also only take about a day to dry. Now that your snout is dry, we are ready to actually attach it to the mask. Same for the teeth. However, before actually attaching the teeth, I like to paint them a light tint of yellow. You can glue everything on and start to see your mask come together now. Another small detail you can add is a small black line from the nose down to the mouth. You can glue the eyes in with hot glue by just putting it around the area of the eye hole. Now it is time to line the inside of the mask so it's comfortable. Get your hot glue gun and your mask. Now we can go pick out the kind of fabric we want on the inside. I would recommend something soft and not abrasive because you are going to be wearing this. Lay out your fabric on a flat working area so that you have enough room to cut and work around. Place the mask on the felt so you can get a rough visual of how much fabric you're going to need. Cut out a square around your mask. Start in the center of your mask and work your way out with the fabric. Art should look something like this. You also want to make sure you have enough to cover the ears. You are using hot glue to attach the fabric to the back of the mask. Please, please, please do not glue down on the eyes because then you will have to remake them. Make sure your seams are nice and hidden. Now you are ready to cut off all the excess fabric. Cut out the eyes so you're actually able to see out of your mask. Finally, it is time to add all the fur. The fur I'm using in the video is a gray fur from hobbylobby.com. Make sure your fur is pointing out so it doesn't end up looking floppy. Trace out 2 triangular patterns so that it'll actually fit your mask and look natural like fur. Cut it out with a blade on the back and attach it to your mask. You can also hide the seam of the fur by attaching a small little bit of hot glue on the edges and tuck the fur down like I just showed. Make similar shape for the ears and glue everything down. Now, it looks like we have a complete mask.
Thank you guys so much for watching and following up along with my 2 tutorials. I would like to just clear up a few things. I am not a therian. I commissioned a mask for a therian, which is the one you are seeing in this tutorial. So I am by no means claiming a fake identity by painting a Theta Delta. The person who commissioned the mask requested that I added this detail. I would also like to say, please go subscribe to him because he is my friend. and he really wants to have more people see his amazing content. So I will link his channel in the description for you guys to go see. Now without that, nighty nightmares.